Well, hello and welcome everyone, Gotchaholic here, and today we'll be discussing more Higurashi. May you enjoy some lovely Princess Connect in the background while I talk about children brutally murdering each other as my YouTube career hangs on a thread. It's all good times here. So while we thirst for more content, I was just kind of wondering, we honestly pretty much know how Higurashi Gou is generally going to end. And then that really brings into question, are we getting a season 2 or an Umineko adaptation? We're kind of already at that point, honestly. But you already know, I already got videos on these topics, so why don't we talk about everything we know thus far? In other words, I'm just going to spoil the rest of the show. One way or another, it's getting spoiled, if you're interested in that. But ultimately, we'll go with the OG Sachiko theorist idea first. So, the he, it's really me kind of ending with Sachiko. We'll pretty much burn through what's going to happen under that context. And then this is a great gateway into everything we know thus far. So Gotchaholic presents a Higurashi Gou crash course of the last 3 episodes. So just like I said last week, when episode 20 dropped and we got the reveal about feathering, I said, well, all Rika has to do is die at the end of next episode, and we're going into the first 3 arcs again, finally, even though we're not getting anyone's backstory. But so ultimately we're going back into arc 1, and I already spent a lot of time talking about all this, so like I said, this is crash course version. So OG Sachiko theorist concept. So basically Sachiko injects Rena with the syndrome. Rena attempts to murder Keiichi. Afterwards, Sachiko goes and grabs a knife and then kills Rika and then herself. Ultimately, she could just be crazy and trying to mess with Keiichi and Rika at this point, probably, something like that. Arc 2 crash course goes as follows. So Sachiko injects Meon with the syndrome, Meon drowns Rika, Shion still goes crazy and murders everyone in the great family members, and then after Meon is injected by Sachiko, Meon cleans up after Shion, and then locks up Keiichi. Sachiko, waits a day for some reason, goes and confronts Meon, probably to make sure that Rika's actually dead, and then kills Meon and then herself for the reset, okay? So alright, so arc 3 goes as follows. So basically Sachiko is completely evil at this point, and she's thinking, either A, I want to have my uncle kill Keiichi so I can sacrifice him to feathering, or B, I just want to spend time with Keiichi because he reminds me of my brother, or C, man, I hate my uncle, I really want to have Keiichi kill him. I want to have my uncle murdered. I don't know, something like that. And then, the shit actually goes down, and Sachiko's like, well, this isn't as fun as I thought it would be. I'm just going to go kill Rika now. Here, Oishi, here's this bat. Go kill Rika. And then we have 5 loops of Rika's super happy fun time. My, what a joy. This is the Sachiko theorists' fucking, haven here. So yeah, this all happens, and then, this pretty much brings us to the world where Rika confronts Sachiko, and we get the reveal that she's the looper, and she pulls out Takana's fucking gun, and is all like, yo, I'm the looper. And thus, everything comes full circle. So your OG Sachiko theorist concept ending is bam, right there. And honestly, this is a very likely outcome. It could be a cliffhanger ending from this point, or Rika is going to kill Sachiko with that shard, honestly. Fuck it. No. We want our happy ending. We want our pristine waifu school, Sachiko, you fucking it up! And honestly, this outcome could go into a cliffhanger ending because whatever the outcome might be, under the context of being a cliffhanger, it would just take one more arc to really bridge this into Umineko, and then for the rest of this season, season 2, hopefully, we could get our backstories fleshed out. So go over the first 4 murders in Hinamizawa, basically. Now, I already went in depth about the possibility of a season 2 or an Umineko adaptation in another video, so I guess that really concludes this first little segment. I pretty much presented to you the ending of Higurashi Gou under the Sachiko mastermind theory. However, in regards to everything we know thus far, we know there are other theories. What? Is Keiichi hallucinating? Are there multiple loopers? Okay, calm your titties. Again, in another video, I already spent a lot of time talking about the multiple loopers theory. So, in this video, we will more or less just address the inconsistencies of Sachiko being the only looper, and how this bridges into other theories. Now, I'll just say this now. If Keiichi is hallucinating, the community is not ready for this type of twist. If the things with Rena and Teppei attacking Keiichi were really, like, not what the drawings were showing us, my god. Then who the fuck knows what's going on? Because Sachiko would still be messing with Rika at that point. Like a straight psychological battlefield that we're not ready for. But I will do my best to include the hallucination theories with the rest of the video. So, the first inconsistency going over Arc 1 is pretty much Rena's death was very ambiguous. It's hard to imagine Keiichi out DPSing her with a clock, with him being in a worse state than her and surviving. So, pretty much, it's a pretty fair assumption to assume, well, what if Rena wasn't dead in that scene? That would easily explain why the same knife was used to kill Sachiko and Rika, because Rena just waltzes over there and kills them. A day later, and we'll come back to this. And Rena's like, yo, Sachiko, what the fuck? And then, Higurashi-style children murdering children, the usual. And then Meon would lay witness to this and kind of like be figuring shit out already. Which would explain Arc 2, why Sachiko would want to inject or have feathering infect Meon with the syndrome specifically, because she remembers the scuffle from Arc 1 perhaps. Regardless, Meon definitely kills Rika, and then it's safe to assume that Shion killed everyone related to the Great Families. Meon cleaned up after Shion, and then locks up Keiichi, having killed Rika. Rena's kind of MIA at this point, which is suspicious, but Meon was also MIA in Arc 1, which is suspicious, so if, for whatever reason, the syndrome can only be induced for a day, whether it's a limitation of the injection, or maybe a limitation of Feathering's powers, or maybe Feathering doesn't want to mess with, the Higurashi world, so it's something else, but regardless, if it could only last for a day, that would explain why, when Sachiko confronts Meon a day later, she does not have the syndrome. And strikes some weird correlations with Arc 1, in fact. Very weird, very weird. Take this information as you will. But then the next inconsistency of Arc 2 is actually just this, Sachiko confronting Meon a day later. The obvious question is, well, if Sachiko is really the mastermind and she facilitated the event with Meon killing Rika, then why would she have to confront Meon to confirm that Rika's dead in the first place? She should know already. There's no reason for her to just, wait out Shion's rampage, let Meon deal with it, and then have Meon kill Rika, and then pop up and reveal yourself at the end, just to kill Meon and then kill yourself for the reset. It only kind of makes sense if you just look at it face value. Oh, she just wanted to confirm that Rika was dead before she reset, sure. But it really doesn't make sense, because if she is the mastermind, come on. The other thing is, right before that scene, Meon grabs her gun, and then in the death scene that we see, Meon's gun is not there. So, who took Meon's gun? And also, Sachiko's gun, which is actually Takano's gun, or at least it looks like it, is centered between them. And I find it really hard to believe that Sachiko actually shot herself there. And then the other obvious question that I honestly don't see too many people asking is, well, why did Meon lock up Keiichi? Because she loves him? Because she loves him. That's it, there's nothing going on. He wasn't, targeted in Arc 1 or anything. Why would she lock up Keiichi? Who is targeting Keiichi? It's just about Sachiko and Rika, right? What the fuck? This could go into so many different directions. If Meon was remembering Arc 1, she could be misinformed and actually skeptical of Rena instead of Sachiko. And this would play into, if Sachiko somehow injected Meon without her realizing it. Or maybe Rena actually is involved and has something to do with why the gun is missing. After all, Rena was the one that busted in that place with the Oishi in the original. And Sachiko being killed a day later. And not even with Rika this time, with fucking Meon. Okay, enough speculation, but the point is that there's just a lot of inconsistencies with Arc 2, assuming that Sachiko is the mastermind. Now, does this mean someone's hallucinating shit? Oh god, hopefully not. Does this mean there could be multiple loopers? Honestly, yeah, that's a good bridge way, but not necessarily. It could just be, Umineko characters messing with everyone, for all we know. I don't know, take this information as you will. So, I'm just going to burn through the inconsistencies of Arc 3 real quick. I already spent a lot of time in a lot of different videos discussing Arc 3. That seems to be everyone's favorite arc to ponder, however. The main inconsistency with Arc 3 is pretty much Keiichi. In both Arc 1 and Arc 3, the murder weapon that was used to attempt to murder him was then later used to kill Rika. Now combine that with the fact that the culprits are reversed, and knowing that Satoko is targeting Rika, you notice a lot of parallels and mirroring kind of going on, which could bridge into hallucinations, it could bridge into Umineko characters, it could bridge into multiple loopers even. It's just really hard to say what's going on here, but if there was a second looper targeting Keiichi, and let's say Satoko is genuine, and the uncle actually startled her, like she didn't actually know the uncle was there still. And then after her moment with Keiichi is ruined, she's just kind of like, fuck it, sends Oishi to, kill Rika because her time with Keiichi just got ruined. So if there's another force kind of acting first, and then Satoko's just kind of capitalizing on it, it could explain why, like, this murder weapon gets used and fails, right? This would be like the second looper's doing. Then Satoko would just kind of capitalize on it and be like, alright, well, I'm resetting. Assuming Satoko even knows what's going on, because honestly, she seems pretty self-consumed, so. And then you could also mirror Arc 3 into Arc 2 in the sense that in both the arcs that Keiichi wasn't locked up, you have this weird, coincidental murder weapon, but in Arc 2, Meon locked Keiichi up, and he was actually never targeted or anything. So that makes me wonder, well, if Keiichi wasn't locked up, who would have tried to kill him? Is that how this is working? Or is he hallucinating? I think we should try to entertain this theory a little bit. Okay, so let's say that Keiichi's straight up hallucinating, Arc 3 for a second. Let's say Teppei wasn't as angry as he was. It was just something really subliminal. Like, Rena actually brought food with her and he saw tools. Teppei was like, why you in my house, bro? And Keiichi saw, like, himself being attacked. Well, then ask yourself, what would be causing these hallucinations? Perhaps there are two versions of which the syndrome is spreading. One could be supernatural or, circumstantial in the sense that the original culprit in each arc, since it's a repeat version of that arc, is still the culprit. So this could be your, supernatural or circumstantial based type of syndrome, in which in Keiichi's case would be worse because he seems to have, the circumstantial type of syndrome in both Arc 1 and Arc 3, which would then explain all the reverse culprits, meaning that the reverse culprits are actually just hallucinations. So Rena, Meon, and then Teppei. Which still leaves Oishi as an extra culprit, but that could be Satoko or Feathering. And if you really want to get crazy with the hallucination theory, you just apply it to Arc 2. So just like with Rena and Teppei in Arcs 1 and 3, let's say that when we see the filter effect and the reverse culprit, it's just a hallucination. That means when Meon's shaking the ladder in Arc 2, Keiichi was just hallucinating it. And what if he was the one that actually killed Rika? Meon just witnessed it, and that explains why Meon locked him up, and why Satoko has no fucking idea what's going on, even if she is the main mastermind. I just find it strange that the hallucination theory complements all other theories, and that Satoko could be the mastermind, there could be multiple loopers, or it could be an Umineko crossover, and everything still lines up. But I digress. Take this information as you will. Alright, my brethren, we have stretched this topic long enough. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, like the video. Comment, subscribe, comment your theories below. I love theories. I will read all of them. Especially when it comes to Higurashi. I'm like obsessed with the show if you haven't noticed already. And with that, I wish y'all a lovely rest of your day. May we venture through this mystery together. Alright, thanks for watching. Later. Thank you, come again. See you in long time. Oh, you like what I got, y'all? Bye-bye.